Him who knows that I know what he seeks to know, knows it well, while he who knows not what I know, or know not.
Hoy there, I'm Mr. McFacepunch. You can call me Chainsaw. Welcome to episode 2 of our Dragon's Dogma lore run. Um, Last time we went through the tutorial. That was fun. We played as Savan. Our pawn was Sald, made in the image of his father, as said in, I think, in the digital comics as well as in the beginning, the little novella was JP exclusive, but it was fan translated. Um, Today is going to be our actual episode 1. This is where we actually start the real game. So I did the little thing where I switched to normal mode, and then I'm going to switch back to hard mode, so it restarts my playthrough. I mean, this isn't, like I said before, it's not a difficulty, it's not like a challenge run or anything. It's just we're going to be talking to a lot of people. So I want all my stuff. I have all my port crystals set. I have a lot of gear and all that. So we're going to kind of stroll through it. So I'm just going to do hard mode and then it'll be fun. Woohoo! Okay. Start game on hard mode. Yup. Okay. Now, when I hit yes, it's going to be movie time, so everybody be quiet. Okay, not quiet. Hold on. Okay, now it's movie time. Be quiet. Shh. That was a wonderful movie. Thank you for being quiet, chat. I said chat. Okay, this is my guy. I have decided. This is my ideal vision of myself. Big, muscly beard hair. So we'll go with that. Yep, I'm ready to play. Today, like every day, waves gently lap at the shore near your tiny village. The twin. Well, we tried. Oh, movie time.
prophets have spoken, friends. The dragon's return is nigh. Join the honourable Duke's ranks and help us be rid of the fell beast. The day's come to lay down rod and reel and take up the sword.
It's the dragon! Get to the boat, quickly! Go! Pick a bird!
Okay, I think that counts as movie time. Movie time's over. Um, I don't know. I might talk through some of the movie time because there's a couple things I wanted to say there. First of all, the hear ye guy. That's actually kind of important to the story, as we'll see as we talk with more NPCs. That's like a part of a whole narrative that's established with some of the NPC dialogue. Um, and even just the existence of the guard here is like, I don't know, we'll get to that. Uh, but another part of, oops, I got stepped on. It's fine. This guy doesn't know that he's actually just toast. Like right now, it looks like I'm losing, but I actually got him right where I want him. Uh, One fun little detail is like, notice how Kina hides behind the protagonist in the opening cutscene. Dang, didn't even hit me. Got me shook. Okay, lots of movie times early on. Um, And there's still gonna be more. We're not done yet.
Help me! He's still alive!
Take up arms, newly risen.
All right. Cool beans.
What? Ah, the horror.
The horror of it. Okay. We're gonna actually, don't we get a dialogue if we ignore those? Or is it just gonna be the same thing?
Take up arms, Arisen. For my kind do not heed the toothless.
Nice. For my kind, do not heed the toothless, he says. Okay. All right, so we're gonna go Strider because I like double jumps and also I want to be able to point at stuff. And, this is pointing. Very dangerous. Don't point at your friends. But we want to be able to point at like cool objects, like say this plant had lore implications. Eventually, I'll be, well, we'll probably switch to like Strider or Assassin so we can like super zoom. I'll be like, yes, the lore of these leaves are lore, stuff like that. Take that. I don't need it. I just wanted it.
You say it left a glowing scar?
Yes. The wound has closed, and it seems the worst has passed, but his heart lies silent.
If you would face me,
You are sure of this?
Yes.
Ill magic, the work of some curse. The whole world's already gone mad for fear of this dragon. Won't no good come of this? I must go see to the others, Kina. Tell me if aught changes here.
All right.
Okay. Before we talk to Kina, which we will definitely do, um, so there was when Dragon's Dogma was first releasing, Capcom released all sorts of like official bios for stuff. So Cassardis has one, Kina has one, and Adaro has one. So we're gonna go through those. Um, Something really cool about Dragon's Dogma 1 that Dragon's Dogma 2 doesn't have is that your protagonist is actually a character in the story. Um, they've lived in Cassardis. Everybody in the village remembers and knows who you are. Whereas in Dragon's Dogma 2, that's just not the case. Nobody seems to know who you are at all. And I think that's kind of weird, actually. Like, you would think if you were a guard, you would have had some guard buddies or something like that. So, like, I don't know, maybe they're a soldier from a foreign nation that's responding to, like, a call to aid, like a worm hunt type of thing. But there's no mention as to what uh, nation borders Vermont. I almost said Vernworth to the north. So it just I wish there was something that like actually recognized your existence before the dragon took your heart in Dragon's Dogma 2, but there's just not. Anyway, the bio for Cassardis, it's attributed to Kina as a quote. I'm not gonna do a Kina impression. I'm just not, because it would sound like, "Hi, I'm Kina," and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that to her. So it's the bio for Cassardis says, "I have lived in Cassardis all my life. Legend says that long ago a king rose and ended the warring that had gripped the peninsula, but today there are few remnants left of the ancient kingdoms, and fewer still know we are the descendants of kings. Cassardis is looked upon as a simple fishing village under the rule of Grand Soren. The area might not be as exciting as it once was, but we are fully self-sufficient, and you won't find a better lobster dinner in all the land." Very cute. Adds a little bit of deep lore to Cassardis that doesn't play much into the narrative at all, except for Cassardis being under Grand Soren's rule. And you actually learn that in Adaro's bio. Uh, so I'm gonna read that now. Okay. So the screen's gonna be boring for a minute because I'm reading a bunch of stuff, but you know, uh, we get we gotta establish the lore. This was put out before Dragon's Dogma 1 launched to like familiarize you with the setting before you delve into it. So we're doing that right now. We're making up for me not being able to tell you. I suppose I could have said it before I started, but I don't want to do that. Okay, so Adaro's bio. At first glance, you would not guess that this short and stocky old man could be any threat. Yet get to know him and you will see why his never say die defiant attitude transformed him from humble fisherman to one leading the charge against every village threat. His fighting abilities were unmatched as, weapon in hand, he boldly led the fighters of Cassardis against the gargantuan monstrosities that attacked the village. He openly shared his wealth of fishing and fighting skills with others, making the village of Cassardis not only prosperous, but also independent and completely self-sufficient in an attack. Thus, when the previous village chief uh, passed away, there was no question that Adaro would be his successor. But one day, when you, his bravest fighter, returned deeply wounded after a battle with a monster, Adaro was furious with himself. He immediately resigned Cassardis's autonomy to accept protection as a territory of Grand Soren. New laws and taxes were levied upon the village. This decision did not go over well with some, but when Adaro realized you were almost lost, nothing else mattered. For while he never sired children, and you were an orphan, he considers you close as blood. Adaro sees a reflection of his younger self within your limitless potential. For even his small form and humble beginnings, Adaro worked hard and became the greatest leader Cassardis has ever known. Okay. So there's a few interesting things there. One, so the Arisen before the protagonist before he was even Arisen was already fighting gargantuan monsters. Because as it said, Adaro had to fend off gargantuan monsters, which means it's regular for Cassardis to get attacked by gargantuan monsters. Probably Cyclops, honestly. But either way, even before you're Arisen, you're just fighting big monsters as like normal guy. That's kind of metal. But second, Cassardis was independent of Grand Soren. Now we see Grand Soren guards. They're guarding the gate, but they're also recruiting people from Cassardis to join the Duke's army. Uh, so that's interesting. All right. All right. Just one more. We're going to do Kina's and then we're moving on. I swear we will leave Adaro's house today. We might not leave Cassardis in this episode, but we are definitely leaving this house. Here's Kina's. Kina was born to a mother of the healing faith. and a father rough around the edges like most fishermen, who was one of the many that sustains the small fishing village of Cassardis. Having little contact with him, Kina was raised strongly influenced by her mother and her gentle nature. As a result, Kina was often picked on by other children. You were the only child in Cassardis who did not take part in the bullying and even defended Kina. Having lost your own parents at a tender age, you did not hesitate to stand up to those who bullied Kina and her mother, fearless of injury or reproach. Thus, you appeared as nothing less than a hero in her young eyes. When the other children heaped abuses upon you in return for your bravery, the meek Kina began to search for a way to return your kindness. Upon her parents' passing, alone in the world, Kina grew into a beautiful young woman, and she focused on learning the basics of healing magics. The people of Cassardis, making their living on the sea, often suffered injuries both large and small. Kina healed the injuries. Uh, Kina healed the injured fishermen, my apologies, free of charge, sometimes staying by their bedsides to nurse them back to health. This role made Kina a vital part of the village, and many came to praise her for her kindness and mercy, and for acquiring such healing powers, all for the sake of the village. However, her true motivation in acquiring these valuable skills was to be able to heal the one person she cares for most, you, who were constantly covered in bumps and scrapes from your adventures. You who had suffered blows and kicks to protect her from her childhood bullies. Kina only learned her magic to help you, and all of her effort seems to have been for naught when you decide to leave Cassardis. We haven't gotten that far yet, Mr. Bio. She begins to question what she's doing in the village. She begins to question her own value. For the second time in her life, she chooses a new path, all for the sake of her one and only hero. That's so sweet. See, that's why Kina is just the correct beloved. Listen, I know everybody has their like personal tastes or whatever. Like Kina's just the best. There's no debate. She's just top tier. Okay, now we're gonna actually talk to her. Okay, guys, brave up. It's talk to girls time.
You should be abed. I wish you would not strain yourself so. I worry for you, cuz.
Okay, and here's the trick. Uh, you have to talk to her more than once. I don't know about you guys, but first time I played the game, I talked to her once and I ran right out the door because I wanted to hit cool buttons. I just saw a dragon and I wanted to go stab stuff. But if you talk to her more, she has more things to say.
The chief says your injury could be a curse from the dragon. If so, that's not something I know how to heal. But there must be a way.
Okay, so there's some of that, like, she feels kind of hopeless because, like, she knows how to heal scrapes and bumps and that kind of thing, but you know we kind of got our sternum ripped out, and then now we got dragon goop in us that keeps us alive instead of our heart. Okay, more.
You were not the only one to suffer the wrath of the worm, cuz. There were many wounded. Others, some were not so fortunate. The whole village was worried about you. They'd be well relieved to see you up and about. Perhaps you might go and see the others, if you feel well enough. You fight for this village, and here I sit with my hands at my sides. Oh, I feel so very helpless. I tremble to think what the dragon might have wrought without your brave defiance. Our village, burned to a cinder, or swept to sea like so much driftwood. We all of us appreciate your sacrifice. Praise the Maker your home was left standing. Though I am pleased to say most of the damage caused by the attack has been mended. We've buried our new dead at the church. Spare them a final prayer, won't you? I fear we know precious little of your condition. I only ask you not take your wellness as license for wildness. Be careful. I fear we know precious
Okay.
little of your
So once
condition.
they start repeating, we know we exhausted the dialogue. Couple things there. We know we have a house, and we know she kind of tells us about the church.
I only ask you
She
not
says
take your
to like go
wellness as
spare a
license
prayer.
for wildness.
Um,
Be careful.
that's because there's a quest at the church, and she's encouraging us to explore. That's a little bit of game design there. And then so knowing like the protagonist is like an actual character with a real personality. Uh, the wellness as license for wildness line is like because the protagonist is adventurous and obviously they like hold nothing back. They're just like that kind of guy. So it's like, well, I'm not hurt, so I might as well push myself as hard as possible. Okay. Well, here we go. We're 26 minutes in and we're leaving Adaro's house. Okay. So since it's already 26 minutes in, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end here. Uh, I it's kind of wild. We did a lot of reading, and then we talked to Kina, and we watched some cutscenes. But honestly, it's pretty good. It's meaty stuff. We're setting up. Uh, so that'll be the end of episode 2. Uh, Beginning of the next episode, we're going to actually talk to people. Instead of just running straight to the gate and getting Rook, we're going to talk to everyone, do everything that we can before we get to Rook. Because once we get Rook, that changes the quest. Right now, oh, I suppose we're not done yet. I have to read the Chronicle. I almost forgot. Guys, you almost let me forget. Okay, Chronicle. Uh, Dang. Oh, I should have checked the Chronicle when I was fighting the dragon. Oh well, it's fine. Uh, Without warning or any clear design, a dragon sets upon Cassardis, the village you call home. The fisher folk flee in terror from the worm, a beast well feared as destruction incarnate. Yet you decide 'tis better to stand and fight than to flee and falter. You will face this challenge. What a baller. Your Arisen is so cool. All right. Chronicle number 2. You wake to find yourself abed in your room. Was the dragon's assault but a dream? Did the worm truly call to you? The disquiet that plagues your heart certainly feels real enough. You'd best check on your belongings and see how the village fares. Okay. And then, last one for this episode. The village is calm once again, but the dragon's attack still weighs heavily upon the minds and bodies of your fellow fisherfolk. All this because you could not protect them. You are racked with shame over the sheer inadequacy of your abilities. Only one answer for that. Gotta get them gains. Let's go kill some stuff, make ourselves stronger. Uh, actually, I mean, we. I don't have to make myself stronger, but within the story, okay. And we'll check the quests, current quests, quest successful, harbinger of destruction, and newly arisen. Uh, this goes backwards, right? Harbinger of Destruction would have been first. Okay, so let's look at those. Without warning, a dragon set upon the peaceful fishing village of Cassardis. Someone must face the worm to spare the villagers. You've marshal your courage and face the dragon, lest your entire village perish. As challenge the dragon. You faced the dragon and saved the village. Quest reward received. Yay, we did it! Okay, and then newly arisen. Start at the bottom. Your relief at surviving the nightmare is tinged with a sense of unease. Make ready your equipment and see to the village. Take up a weapon from the table to make plain your vocation. Tarry no longer. Leave the room. That took a long time for us. We took up arms and exited the room. Big quest, but we did it. Okay. Uh, Now for real, I'm gonna end the episode. Um, we're going to talk to people next time. the dialogue that people give you changes between, like, right now, the newly arisen stuff and the upon, which is when you get Rook. So I'm not going to approach the gate. I'm going to do everything I can before the gate, and then that will be next episode. That's what we're going to see. So we're not exiting Cassardis this episode. That'll be next episode. Maybe. Well, guys, thanks for watching. Did you learn anything new? I certainly did not know about the bios. You can find some of them on YouTube, but not all of them, and some of them are cut short. So you got to find them on the Dragon's Dogma wiki. Uh, well, join me for next episode where we're gonna talk to more people and learn more things. Till next we meet, one foot after the next, come what may.